And this afternoon, we want to take a look back at some of the very remarkable women who shaped the history of this country.
She's sweet, see her coming down the street. I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet?
Oh, it's terrible.
Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. I ask you confidentially, ain't she nice? Just have
Elizabeth Cady Stanton launched the women's movement in America. 1848, Seneca Falls. She leads an historic two-day convention where the vote for women is first formally requested. A short while later, she befriended Susan B. Anthony, who in 1872 was arrested for illegally casting a ballot in a presidential election. Neither woman lived to see their dream realized, but they never stopped fighting. In 1902, Stanton died just hours after writing to President Teddy Roosevelt.
My father was Judge Cady. When I was 10, I took scissors and cut all the laws out of his books that make women cry. Scissors are no longer enough, Mr. President.
Harriet Tubman didn't know much about women's rights specifically. She was more concerned with human rights, day-to-day survival. Slavery and bondage were her birthmarks. In 1849, guided only by the North Star and her courage, she shepherded more than 300 slaves to freedom, while a $12,000 bounty hung over her life. The heroine of the Underground Railroad died a pauper in 1913 with an unmarked gravesite in the wild, unkempt fields of the South. Alice Paul, a Quaker and sociologist, organized the women of America to march for their right to vote from 1912 to 1923. For 11 years, they were jailed, jeered at, force-fed, downtrodden, discouraged, but fitfully determined. What kept them going were the dreams our country was founded on. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women were created equal. Alice Paul drew up the very first draft of the Equal Rights Amendment. Written in 1923, it read,
"Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the U.S. or any state by law on account of sex."
Alice Paul, at the age of 90, remembered her struggle and how it differed from the struggle at Seneca Falls with Susan B. Anthony in 1848.
We had a meeting saying, but this campaign that they started in 1848 hasn't been finished because there's so many things that have happened since with regard to women in the industry and so on, where there's restrictions on women by law. And so I was the speaker at this meeting. And I said the only thing now we can do is to have a new amendment, like the First Amendment, only this one will be prohibit everything that the government can touch.
In the meantime, immigrants were flocking to America's shores, seeking opportunity and gold. Instead, they found airless sweatshops and the worst slums America had ever seen. But thank the Lord for Jane Addams. Some called her Saint Jane. She opened the doors of Chicago's Hull Mansion in the tenement district for the underprivileged. She fed them hot meals, she taught them English and job skills, and all the while she fought for immigrant legal protection. Finally, in 1913, she was recognized with the Nobel Peace Prize.
It's the girl that makes the singer through, the hole that holds the strings that works the thingamy-bob that makes the engine go.
But still, in the 1900s, half of all black women and 1/4 of all women worked for meager wages. The rest, who worked for no funds, were known as housewives. They worked 18 non-stop hours a day doing laundry by hand without anything like hot running water. We remember this woman as perhaps the most remarkable, resilient species of all humankind, unsung though she may be. Still, she was supposed to be crinolined and corseted. She bulged out in front and heaved in the middle. She carved herself into a clay doll. The lady of the screen at the time was Mary Pickford. Her message was innocence and goodness, virginity and love.
And now, I place my royal kiss upon your brow and my blessings upon your head. And ladies and gentlemen, adieu.
Her evil counterpart was Theda Bara, a bad girl, a vamp. Her promise was sex. Ladies' Home Journal in 1908 warned women,
"Holding a boy's hand before marriage will lead to crippling illness and disease."
Ain't she sweet? See her coming down the street. I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. I ask you confidentially, ain't she nice?
That's a great series. You know what I especially like about it? You're not going to believe this. The music.
I do too. It's
I love
fun.
that music. It's great.
Makes you want to Charleston a little. There will be more on Remarkable Women as the week continues.
Right.